Good afternoon from Tokyo. This is the first parallel day where delegates are presenting their own research. I am standing here with Dr. Lara Carminati from the University of Twente, Netherlands. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Sure. So I'm an assistant professor at the University of Twente, and my area of expertise is organizational behavior and change management. And I'm researching the human-technology interaction, but also the emotional component in relation to that. And this is also what I presented here today, this very morning.
So you had your own individual presentation.
I did.
But you also had a workshop presentation on the pre-conference day.
Indeed, yes.
Can you tell us what it was about?
Sure. So let's say that the whole workshop was really about how to write a clear and hopefully effective introduction. And I really wanted to deliver this workshop because I myself attended a very similar workshop during my PhD journey. And I thought it was very useful. So I wanted to kind of give it back to the community what I also learned throughout. So that's why I opted for this, and indeed was intended for PhD students or early career academics, but hopefully it resonated with also more senior and mature academics too.
I assume that you're also teaching graduate students. Do you see them having any difficulties when it comes to academic writing?
Yes, of course. My students are also non-native English speaker, so to a certain extent, like myself as well, of course. So of course there are some difficulties in academic English writing, and on top of that, I think that nowadays with technology and things like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, well, there's a kind of shortcut if you struggle, but still there are some patterns and features in how you write, and it's nice to know these elements and have the skills to really implement them.
Do you see any correlation between how well somebody can write an introduction with how well they can present themselves in real life out there?
Well, of course, the topics are different. We are talking about academic topics for the introduction compared to personal life experience when you have to introduce yourself. But I think that in principle, they're also very similar because you have to be able to synthesize in a few words, well, when you introduce yourself, everything about yourself, kind of really being able to underline what are your strengths, what have you learned throughout your educational path or your work career. So to a certain extent, in both cases, you have to be able to synthesize in a kind of relatively short space as much as you can in order to be effective.
Do you think with the proliferation of AI and the advancement of technology, that students' way of writing is changing?
Unfortunately, for what I've seen so far, yes. I briefly mentioned that before, but technologies like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, they are, of course, super powerful tools. And technically, we could really use them to empower our own writing. And sometimes I think that even us as academic scholars, especially when non-native speakers, we can also benefit out of it. However, I believe that you also have to know how to use these instruments at the best. And sometimes I fear that this is not the case for students. They see these tools more as a shortcut to get to the goal of, okay, I wrote the proposal, I wrote my assignment, here my work. And that is a bit of a pity because then you, from the student's perspective, I think they will miss this critical thinking approach that, in my opinion, is really what we should teach our students, to be critical about everything they are reading and do not assume that, oh, I read it on Google or I read it on ChatGPT, then it's the truth. And I think that at the university we should really be teaching this assessing the different opinions, the different materials, and then to be able to create your own judgment out of it, and not just because ChatGPT has nicely summarized the content and it's indeed the valid truth. So, yeah, I think per se the tools, this technology is really powerful and could really be used to empower us and the students, but we should also teach them how to properly use it in order not to lose the critical thinking element that for me is really essential.
Do you see that happening at universities now?
So I noticed that some universities at least, and I'm proud to say that my university is one of them, are really trying to create this AI literacy. So to really show that AI can be beneficial if used correctly. But of course, this requires time, resources, investments. And, well, I can understand that some university might find it challenging. But I think this is really crucial if you want to avoid having plagiarism and issues also like at the ethical level.
Then I guess if universities are hesitating to implement those courses or offer these courses, it's nice to have these kind of courses and what you taught in your workshop at an international conference like this.
I hope it was useful because it is the combination of some skills and how to write an introduction, how to synthesize material, how to be critical. This is something that it is really a never-ending process. So I was taught these skills more than 5 years ago, and I'm still in the process of fine-tuning them. And yes, it's a never-ending process. So hopefully this will benefit also the participants that were there on Monday.
Well, as a final question, if another institution would like to offer such workshops, what would you advise them to do?
Definitely how to master AI, so AI literacy, how to promote it, and also ideally, because I think that all students have to write the thesis, also engage the students in courses about academic writing, because I think these are very beneficial, yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying the conference.
Oh, very much. Thank you.
So much. Thank you.